Hey, what's up, everyone? My name is Jesse. This is The Auditorium. I react to video game music as a musician myself, and today is the return of Command and Conquer. This is the original soundtrack remastered, both from the channels of Frank Klepacki. We're going to be listening to Act on Instinct and Demolition, requested by TheEuphoGuy and a special guest, Austin Lee Matthews, otherwise known as Amrax, from a lot of video games, like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. He's Roche, and he's in Sen no Kiseki and a bunch of other stuff. I just found out that he watches my channel, and I was like I geeked out. I was like looking through their comments on my channel that go back over a year, and they requested this one, so here we are. So I felt honored that Roche themselves watches my channel, so I just decided to do this. So thank you very much, Mr. Austin. And plus, it's been a while since I've done Command and Conquer, so let's get into it. We're going to start off with Act on Instinct and then Demolition. Ooh, let's go. Oh, it's EA. I don't know that. So everything I've heard from CNC has been kind of like on the hard rock side, but also like electronic, like this. Oh man, that has such a like SNES Sega sound to it. The melody, not so much the instruments. What kind of game is Command? Let's go to Lord Google. Ooh, that was a nice transition. You know, I'm actually... I'll say it after this. Real-time strategy video game. Oh, the infamous RTS type of game. I've heard of that. See when the first one's out. They are not having a good time. 1995. Screams of pain and agony. Westwood Studios. Okay. You know what? The soundtrack is a little more dynamic than I originally thought. Okay, there's a lot going on here. That sounds like something straight out of like a 16-bit era. How is it gonna end? You know, we still have the other one to listen to too. I'm seeing a pattern with the song titles. They all have this very direct, way of, well, I guess titling. Act on Instinct, Demolition, or the ones like Red Alert, or I forgot. It's been a while. I could check later, but it's in the theming of the whole game. It seems to be. Now, I never played an RTS game. I don't know what it is, but I have heard that term. And the only thing I know about Command and Conquer is whatever I've heard here on the channel. And typically, the comment section for those are people that are, in their 30s or 40s, and like they grew up with it. I don't know if it's still around or if people still play it, that kind of thing, if it's still active. but it's just more of those like one of those historic type of games that will always be cherished type of thing. That's the vibe I get from it. And going into it, I do recall thinking with something like Command and Conquer as a title, I'm thinking very, a lot of like horns and military sounds. And then it kind of turned into more of like older Doom type sounding music. And then I figured it was gonna be more of like this rock and heavy metal thing, but kind of not really. I don't think I've even like tapped into what Command and Conquer could be, because there was a the last song I did, I think, which I'll just look up now. That one took me by complete surprise because it was like a headbanging song. Dun, da, 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 da. It was very Pantera. And then there was like marching sounds, and then all of a sudden it went to like this EDM. You probably know what I'm talking about, but I don't. So, but then going from that to this, I'm like, okay, well, this one also has like these elements of electronic stuff. Hell March is the one I was talking about. So I've only heard Command and Conquer 3 times. This would be the 4th. I've checked out Rock and Awe from Red Alert 3. Full Stop from, I guess, the original. And then the Hell March plus the live version. Okay, yeah, I do remember that. There was like, I think the composer Frank has like his own band or something like that. Yeah, I can see myself headbanging through the YouTube thumbnail preview. Yeah, so basically my expectations of what I thought it would be got kind of shattered because of the whole electronic element, and it makes me curious as to what the originals sound like too. I couldn't fit them in here if they do exist, and I know there's a couple sequels. Either way, I'm just surprised, but I can see why it has this sort of staying power of like historic VGM type of thing. I kind of get it. And I'm really excited going to the next one with a song title like Demolition. You know what I mean? But please explain to me in a like a dummy, if you will, what RTS is. Right? I don't know the genre. So I'm trying to imagine the music going into what little screenshots I've seen of the game, and they don't make sense to me. But alas, this is Demolition. Let's go. This is an interesting soundtrack. The guitar player in me is happy, but let me look at more screenshots. So is this a remastered game or is this a soundtrack remaster? Please let me know. I know nothing of this game. I'm pretty sure this composer is like a guitarist, the way these riffs are written. Oh, that's wild. Yeah, see, I'm trying to correlate like the gameplay to that. Maybe the music is more universal, can go on anywhere, or if they're tied to specific missions. Oh. The bass going down. That was cool. Even the tone of the guitar is like an interesting choice. It's like extremely fuzzy, overdriven to hell. It's like funk, metal. Hip-hop-ish. It sounds like it could be like a Red Hot Chili Pepper song. I could see how they could have a band. Because it's all like very jam style songs. You know, like stuff like you could just play for hours and just come up with new stuff all the time. Okay. I'm going to assume that not only is Frank Klepacki the composer, but also primarily a guitar player. I'm guessing that's him playing, because that's very much like guitar-centric stuff. Everything I've heard has been very riffs, rhythmic patterns, chugs, palm muting, all that kind of stuff, right? Kind of the same way, we can use for an example here. I was going to say Shoji Meguro from Persona, but I kind of want to say like Shoji Meguro and other stuff besides Persona, like Catherine. You can really hear the guitar. I know he's a guitar player mainly, so I can really hear that. Also Chris Christodoulou from Risk of Rain, and the other game I just did not too long ago. Oh god, what was it called? I'll look that up too. But you know, I could tell that they play the instrument as well, not just write it. So Command and Conquer is very interesting so far. 5 times I've heard it now total in my life. What was that one song? It's gonna drive me crazy. Or that one game. It's gonna drive me nuts. It wasn't that long ago. It was like 2 weeks ago. I have to figure it out. Deadbolt was the same composer as Risk of Rain. So I'm guessing. Okay, so here's my assumption here. I don't know this. I'm guessing the soundtrack got remastered, and maybe not the game, or like remade, whatever. And I'm going to assume that the soundtrack is almost 1-to-1 with the original songs, just sounding better, more actual instruments or something like that. Because the riffs and the way it's composed sounds like it's from that era of like 95. Dun 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 dun. You know, it just has like that like mid-90s kind of flair to it. And all he did was just revamp them to modern technology type of thing. Let me know if that's correct. Or if they bring back the game and remaster or whatever, all that stuff. You know how stuff gets when it comes to remakes, remasters, reboots, all that. Yeah, it's totally not what I expected at all. You know, I was really expecting this kind of military sound, I guess, whatever that sounds like in my head, but it wasn't that, you know. A lot of eccentric guitar riffs, and I think there's a big emphasis on like headbanging type of riffs in this game. There's a lot of groove. That's why I keep saying Pantera, because Pantera is like groove metal, I guess, if you want to label it like that. But there's a big influence. I keep saying influence. There's a big emphasis on like, you know, just kind of moving along and like, yeah, this is sick. You know what I mean? Which translates super well into a live band performance, which I know they do. So, but I will say, there's a lot of diversity and dynamic stuff. You know, the electronic stuff being implemented wasn't expected, but a very nice welcome. And I guess I just judged a book by its cover, you know? And then again, hearing this with whatever images I've seen of just like this kind of top-down, well, I guess RTS, are these songs kind of like shuffled through the game, or are they specific to a certain stage, character, or boss? I don't know. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, I'm just surprised, and I need to know more about Command and Conquer. I know it's It's a well-respected game, but I know nothing of it, so feel free to elaborate. And thank you to the TheEuphoGuy and to Austin for the request, which I think is funny, by the way, because, you know, Command and Conquer, and then knowing what his role is in Soldier with Shinra. I don't know, I just thought that was kind of funny. Anywho, thank you to my Patreon members. Again, thank you to Austin for the request and for watching my channel. I think it's super cool. Let me know if part 3 needs a random shop owner VA. I'm kidding, kind of. Thank you to my Platinum members. Couldn't be here without them. Thanks to you for watching. My name is Jesse in the auditorium. Peace.